Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is December 20th, 2022, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Amazon stock from the get-go makes new yearly lows yesterday. No major economic events scheduled for the remainder of today. However, looking at the Forex symbols earlier this morning from Japan, we had a monetary policy statement coming out. And as a result, the Japanese yen gains after this policy statement. A big gain. We're going to take a look at that. Looking at the indices yesterday, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both falter on the downside. Looking at commodities, gold still steady while oil trickles lower. Of course, the stocks, Amazon making that new low for the year, and some of the other stocks showing some continued weakness in the high-tech sector specifically. And lastly, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin still unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. All right, so we're going to take a look at the USD Japanese yen first at a daily chart, and look at that. Look at that tankage. I mean, 137 down to 132. That's a 500 pip move in just like less than an hour. If we look at a shorter time frame, just to give us a perspective, that's a 1 hour chart. Look at that, just a nosedive. Now I'm going to look at a daily, just because if you look at the daily up here, you could see that basically, okay, we're hitting a supportish area. Now we did cross over the 200-day moving average, the 30-day moving average. We've been under the 30-day moving average for quite some time. Look at that. I mean, look at that sell-off. And so, you know, all intents and purposes, there is supportish area around here. Okay, so I do expect a bounce, but the question is how big of a bounce we're going to get, and that's yet to be seen. Now, looking at the euro faltering here on the downside, I would have expected it to sell off much more versus the dollar, as the dollar should have gotten stronger with the Dow Jones faltering, but it hasn't. Okay, it's just trading sideways. Remember, we do have resistance-ish area at this level as well, so keep that in mind going into today's session. Now, looking at the GBP, mildly stronger versus the dollar at 121, but pretty much steady. Now jumping into commodities, gold pretty much just steady at 1794, not doing much. If we look at crude oil, it's sticking to that downwards trend. Okay, we're just respecting it right now. It could be that we're hitting a bottom, okay, a range bottom, okay, but got to keep an eye on this as this continues to trade around this area of $75 a barrel. Now jumping into the US markets, the Dow Jones faltering yesterday to 32,800. That's over a 300-point move. Now, we traded further down from that. We're trying to bounce this morning, not getting much of it. We tried to bounce yesterday, and we did. We hit 33,200, but the selling continued. Okay, so day to day, we've been selling off for 3 days already, and usually by the third day, that's a point of correctional move on the upside. So I do expect that in the next day or so. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, also trading on its low, 11,000 down 1,000 points, okay, on the NASDAQ. That's, you know, a big percentage as we're making new lows. Now, what's drawing us lower? Look at Amazon, $84 a share. Now, you can't see it on this graph because it doesn't take us back, because it doesn't adjust the stock split. But this is a new low for the year, and this is quite distressing, as the Amazon is a huge company, okay, and represents a lot of things about it. Now, Apple also trading on its lows, almost as low going back to October, when we hit that low towards the beginning of October. And back in June, we're breaking that October low, but we're going back all the way back to the summer where we hit that low for the year. So if this continues breaking down and it breaks that 130, then we could see new lows for the year here as well. Now, Facebook also sold off just mildly, not big deal. Microsoft sold off on the downside, on supportish level, okay, but not a big deal. But Intel, this is important, okay, because this is showing some selling pressure on the downside, and it's trickling down, and it may catch this low of $25 once more, and we may see it break further. Now, looking at Bitcoin, you know, it's a little bit of a reminiscence of what happened after the .com crash, where all these stocks that were trading, you know, in $600 to $1,000 range, all of a sudden we're trading at $4, and this is the equivalent of that. I mean, we're trading at $16,000 per Bitcoin. That's not a big deal. but it is a big deal. I mean, relatively to where it was about a year ago of $60,000, we're seeing a tremendous correction here. And so it's going to take some time for the population to actually inherit this and have some sort of trust in this once again. So this is something to consider, that we're going to be hanging around here maybe for quite some time until they're going to see some sort of correctional move on the upside. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.